You know the feeling. Mid-June. Warm summer days, pools, ice cream, and school almost being out. Finals were just last week. I did okay this school year. Definitely not my best year. Being a junior at Cedar Mills High School, I've really learned my way around the building now. I feel like I can finally navigate my way around. And now I get to rightfully make fun of the freshmen. But as I said, it's not my best year, especially after what has happened today. Since finals were over, and there was only 5 days left of school, the day didn't consist of much. The teachers stopped caring, and every class basically became a 3-period. My friend Amanda and I share 5th period lunch, and 6th period Spanish with Mrs. Gomez. Amanda is the stereotypical quiet girl, except when it comes to our friend group. As we were walking together in the halls, we noticed the principal's office. Something was clearly happening. Teachers were coming in and out, with worried looks on their face. School staff were screaming at each other. "What the hell is going on in there?" asked Amanda. "I don't know. You think a kid threw shit at the school bathroom wall again?" I joked. Before you ask, yes, that did happen. As we walked further down the hall, we saw a few security guards going into different classrooms, as if they were looking for something. When we got to Mrs. Gomez's class, she looked different than usual. She looked worried about something, almost frightened. Amanda and I took our seats at the back of the classroom. "Mrs. Gomez is giving off bad vibes," I whispered. Almost as soon as I said that, we could hear a voice over the intercom saying, "All students please report to the auditorium immediately for an emergency assembly." Students began pouring out of the classrooms into the hallway. There are 3,200 students at Cedar Mills. It definitely isn't a small school, and there's no way the auditorium could hold us all. Usually they would only call students from certain grades, never all of us at once. When we got to the auditorium, we saw that the vice principal would stop everyone and ask for their name. He would then make a check on paper on a clipboard, presumably taking attendance. The seats had all been filled with other students, meaning Amanda and I were forced to sit on the floor. Students all around us were mumbling and spouting theories for the strange assembly. Did someone bring a gun? Did someone vandalize the bathrooms? Did someone die? After what felt like eternity, the vice principal finally took the stage to begin the assembly. "Good afternoon, students. Today's assembly is rather serious," he said, with a slight tremble in his voice. "There are currently 24 freshmen unaccounted for," he said. Amanda turned to me and whispered, 24? 24 students were marked present in first period, but they were all marked absent from 2nd to 6th period. The vice principal continued. "None of them showed up for this assembly. When we checked the cameras, nobody was seen leaving the building. If you see anyone hiding in the halls or the bathroom, please let us know." After we were dismissed and back in the halls, I said, "It is a bit weird that 24 kids are just gone like that. I mean, how can they all hide so easily inside the school?" "They're probably just getting high under the stairs," speculated Amanda. After the bell rang, I went to go meet up with Amanda and the rest of our friend group. The group consisted of me, Amanda, Jimmy, Tim, Sage, and McCoy. McCoy was the only one of us with a car, so each day he'd drive us to and from school. When I got to our usual meeting place on campus, I noticed Jimmy was there, but he was staring at something. Something off in the distance. Across the street from the school was a huge crowd of students, all gathered around something. Some of them were screaming. "What the hell was going on over there?" I asked. "Let's check it out," replied Jimmy. As we arrived to the group, I realized I couldn't see what it was due to the amount of people in front of me. Jimmy is taller than me, so he was able to get a glimpse. "Jesus Christ," he said, with an uneasy tone. I tilted my head so I was finally able to get a glimpse. What I saw made my stomach drop. I felt sick. In the middle of the crowd, on a bush, was the body of a freshman at my school. He was covered, head to toe, with blood. There was a visible dent in his head, as if he'd been struck by an object. I knew him. Not as a friend, but I'd seen him in the halls. His name was Jared. Everybody loved him. He was athletic, played football, had his whole life ahead of him. His head, it had no face. He had been skinned. The police came a while later. They ushered everyone out of the area and kept a few for questioning. In the crowd had also been Sage and Tim, and we met up with them shortly after. Sage was crying, and Tim was trying to console her. "We have to do something," Jimmy said, almost angrily. "Us? Are you insane? Let the police handle it," I said. "No," said Jimmy. "They said none of the freshmen ever left the building on cams. That means somehow they had to have gone around it." "What are you saying?" I said, confused. "I'm saying that there has to be some kind of tunnel in that basement. Please, can we go inside and look?" "Where in the hell are you getting this from? Why do you think there's a tunnel in the basement?" "It's been a rumor for years. It was even around when my brother went here." "Can we just go home?" pleaded Sage. I checked my phone to call McCoy to track him down. I have 5 missed calls from him and a text reading "Where are you?" Then I looked at the time. It was already 5:30. School lets out at 3. McCoy and Amanda were already home, and the 4 of us were stuck here. "I left my backpack inside anyway. If you want, we can check out the basement on the way," said Tim. "Wait," Sage responded. "Don't you think there are going to be police officers inside? Since 24 kids just went missing. This sounds like a bad idea." "Come on, Sage," Jimmy said. "It'll be quick. I haven't seen any police in the school. Only one at the murder scene." We all reluctantly agreed and walked back to the school's campus. As we passed by the death scene, we saw that it had been blocked off by yellow tape, and the police were gathered around it. However, not one police officer was on the school's campus. To our surprise, the doors were unlocked, and we didn't need to be buzzed in like we usually do. There was no one in the building. It was dead silent and dark. No lights were on, which is unusual, even for after-school hours. "Where did you leave your book bag?" I asked Tim. "Oh, I didn't even bring it into school. I just wanted you guys to come in. It'll be quick." "Fine, but me and Sage will be the lookouts. You two go into the basement yourselves." We walked to the basement entrance, which was a door under a stairwell. "Good luck, and call us if you need anything," I said. "My phone is dead." "Mine too. We'll just yell if we see the murderer," joked Tim. Sage and I watched as the metal door slammed behind them. We looked down the halls in both directions, just making sure no one is coming. "Tommy, I really don't have a good feeling about this," said Sage. "Me neither. I can barely see anything." The only light source was the fading late afternoon sunlight through the windows. It was quiet enough to hear a pin drop. If there was anyone else in the building, we would know. Seconds turned into minutes, minutes to about an hour. "Sage, they would have been back up by now. We should go down there and check on them," I said. "No," Sage replied. "I'm not going down there. Call McCoy or go outside and get help." "Sage, the police can't know we're here." "Then let's just go. It's getting late. Please, Tommy, call McCoy." I called McCoy, but it went straight to voicemail. "Please, let's just go outside and call an Uber then. Tim and Jimmy can find a way to get home themselves." "No, I'm not leaving them." "Well, I am," exclaimed Sage. He walked up to the door and pushed. Nothing. He pushed again. The door wouldn't move. "Is it locked?" Sage asked, trembling. I tried opening it, I think so, I said. Tommy, I don't even think that's legal or possible. Something bad is happening. You need to call the police or keep trying McCoy. I'm scared, said Sage, on the verge of tears. That's when we heard it. Footsteps, faint and distant, but unmistakable. They were not coming from the basement. Someone's here, I whispered. Sage was now silently crying. The footsteps slowly grew louder and closer. Sage, I said quietly, we need to go to the basement. At this point, it's our only option. Sage nodded, and we opened the creaky metal door and ventured down the stairs into the dimly lit room. It was a small room, only about the size of a classroom. There were some storage boxes filled with school supplies and 2 photocopiers. The thing that really unnerved me, though, was that there was absolutely no sign of Tim and Jimmy. Upon discovering that our friends were gone, Sage completely broke down and began full-on crying. Shh, I said, trying to quiet him down. It worked. We hid behind some boxes, although we could no longer hear the footsteps from the basement. Where the fuck could they have gone? It's a tiny room, I whispered. Maybe through that door? Sage pointed out there was another door, but a photocopier was in front of it. The photocopier looked too heavy to move. We could now hear the footsteps again, this time much closer than before. It sounded like this person was walking down the exact hallway Sage and I had just looked down earlier. I tried calling McCoy one last time, this time leaving him a voice message, telling him that we're at the school and he needs to come pick us up. I can hear the footsteps now. The footsteps are almost here as I type this. Please, give me advice. Anything.
Hello listeners, if you enjoyed this story, please check out the author in the description. For more content, leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more sinister readings.